Hi there! So today I'm going to do a little quick review of all the books that are on my Kindle. I love my Kindle. I use it all the time when I'm commuting to work or if I just, want to read in my bed or whatever. I do love physical books, but a Kindle is so easy, so it's worth it. It's always a little bit dark right now, but the day sort of got away from me. I had a lie-in and then it was dark. And I wanted to do this video, so it's dark. I use the basic Amazon Kindle, the one that I think is like £59. I think it does the job and I don't personally need anything fancier, so that's good. And I have a little cover that is by Alice's Adventure in Wonderland, and it's called Run for Covers, and they do a lot of the old classics books in Kindle covers, which I like. So I'll just read through what's on my Kindle. I'll start at the very back of it and then I'll work through it just so you can get an idea. Just because, I don't know, I like hearing what other people read and hopefully you do too. Okay, so the first book that I got on here was Life of Pi, and that was after I saw the film when it came out. I really like the book. It's good. It is a little bit heavier going than what you might think, considering that the film is so lighthearted, but I really enjoyed it. It's quite meta. If you like that sort of thing and talking about theology and everything, you will like Life of Pi. Although if you've seen the book, the film, then obviously you know what's going to happen. Then I have all the Game of Thrones books. So I don't want to say anything because most people know that Game of Thrones is such a good series. It's very well written for fantasy, even if you don't like fantasy that much, and the TV shows are out there. So yeah, there's probably not that much to say about that. Then we've got The Last Train to Istanbul, which is a novel by I.C. Kulin. This is a translated book by it's written as a translated book. It's based about kind of people who live in France who are originally from Turkey during and in the run-up to World War II, and how they are trying to get back to Istanbul to where it's safe. And this is it's people who are Jewish and Turkish, or if they're Muslim and Turkish. This I really liked. It was very, very historically accurate, which is something I like, considering this is sort of my speciality, the Middle Eastern history. Although the translation was good, it wasn't that good. It very much read like a translated work, which isn't always the best thing. But I'd still recommend it if you're interested in it, in Turkey and its role in European affairs. But it's probably not the best book just to read for the joy of reading. Elephant Moon is the next one. That's by John Sweeney. This is really good. This is about the Britain's sort of extract, or when they left Burma and how they extracted everything. And there's this group of kind of school kids who have to try and leave Burma because they're British, but Britain doesn't really want anything to do with, or they've got British links, but Britain doesn't want anything to do with them. And so this is about how they try and leave Burma, and it was really good. It's got some good characters. Again, I don't know how historically accurate it is, but it does talk about a very interesting time that I personally didn't know anything about before I started reading it, but now I do. Then we've got some of the Wheel of Time books by Robert Jordan, which I love. I think they are just an amazing fantasy series, and if you like fantasy, you have to read it. I always see it's kind of like Game of Thrones, but for grown-ups, if that makes sense. I never liked fantasy, but I started reading the Wheel of Time books, and they are so well written, and yeah, I'm so committed to it. There's 14 books, so it's quite a commitment, but definitely recommend. If you've read them, by the way, if you've read any of those books, then let me know what you thought, or if you've got any more recommendations of things I should read, definitely let me know down below, or tweet me at Liquid Grain. Then we've got The Waterproof Bible by Andrew Kaufman. This wasn't great, I must say. It tried to be a little bit, you know, like Man Broke a Prize, I think, or Man Booker Prize or something, and again it's kind of meta and there's stuff going on, but it's not so great. Yeah. Then there's The Universe versus Alex Woods by Gavin Extents. This is really good. It's really funny, actually. I normally don't like funny books, but it's good. It's basically this guy Alex who, it seems like the whole world is against him and what he's going on and things like that. So definitely recommend it. Then we've got the most recent Bridget Jones book by Helen Fielding. It's called Mad About the Boy. This wasn't great, because how good were the Bridget Jones Diary books? They are so good, so funny. You get so invested in the relationships, you know, how is it going to turn out? And basically this is like 10 years later, and you know, Bridget is not in a place where she thought she'd be, and it wasn't good. I didn't get invested in the relationship. I wasn't invested in her book. I thought Bridget was very unlikable and unrelatable. And if you've read the book, you'll probably know why she's unrelatable, because quite frankly, she's very middle class, very fortunate, and doesn't seem to see it that way at all. But you know, whatever. Yeah, not great. Sorry for that, Bridget. Then we've got Les Miserables, Les Mis, basically. Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. It's a translated work. This is such a good book. I was so proud of when I read this because it's so long and yeah, basically if you think it's going to be the musical, like a short book or whatever, it's not. It is like a mega book. There's so much in it. There is historical references to everything. It's good. It took me almost a year to read. It took me about 9 months. Very long. It's very good though. It's quite hard going. You've got theological, philosophical sort of discussions about the self, the role of the state, capitalism, Marxism, everything. It's a biggie, but a good one. You know, you feel very accomplished. Then we've got more Game of Thrones books. Then we've got another Game of Thrones books, which I'm reading right now. And then we've got Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. I've not read this yet on my Kindle, but I've read it before. I had to read it for school. We were talking about colonialism, and I saw it was free on the Amazon bookstore, so I got it, so I'm going to read it again. So I'm looking forward to that. Oz, the Complete Collection. This is all the Wizard of Oz books, or the Oz series, the series books. It's by L. Frank Baum. There's 14 of them, and they're really good. I like classical, like the classical stories. I like classic books, and I like children's classics because I think they're written really well. And yeah, so I'm working my way through that. I've not finished that. I think I'm about 10 books in or so, but it's good. Then we've got The Woodcutter by Kate Danley. Oh, this is good. This is really good. It's very fantasy and there's a lot going on, and if you like fairy tales and sort of like reworking of fairy tales, it's good. I really liked it. It's short as well. It's very easy. I actually was reading this, the first day I was reading this on the bus home, I missed my stop, so I got off the next stop and had to walk back because I was too into it, so that says something. Then we got The Hotel on the Roof of the World. This is by Alec Lesueur. This is good. It was a good read. It was an easy read. It's basically about this guy who goes to work in the Holiday Inn in Tibet, and basically it's about how China and how Tibet in, I think it's the late 80s, early 90s, and it's like a really good snapshot into Tibet and China and just how it was changing so quickly, and like kind of basically the opening up of China, and then particularly the opening up of Tibet. So it was very interesting, and it's quite funny as well, so that's good. Then we've got April's Fool by Blanche Mariotte. this was a terrible chick flick. What more can I say? So predictable, terrible, good bit of easy reading if that's what you like. So I was in a mood for an easy read. I got it just on the loan. Like if you're an Amazon Prime user, you can, I think you can loan like one book a month or something like that. So I got that on loan. And that was all. And then we've got, two books I've not read yet. The Dark Monk by Oliver Poch. My appalling pronunciation of everyone's second name here. I am sorry. And Before I Go to Sleep by S.G. Watson. But I've kind of spoiled that, I think, for myself, because I read a review about the movie and found out what happened. So I'll read it, but I think it's a thriller, and I know what the twist is, so it's a bit of a shame. But yeah, that's my very quick review of every book that's on my Kindle, which isn't that many considering most of them are part of series. But yeah, so if you've read any of these books, please let me know what you thought. If not, can you recommend any books that I should get on my Kindle? Yeah, and that's it. So I hope you're enjoying your weekend. If you've got time, check out my blog, which is www.liquidgrain.co.uk, and if not, please just wish me well on my sort of venture into YouTube. Okay, bye.